There is a specific kind of silence that changes a person. Not the silence of a quiet room, but the silence after someone stops replying the way they used to. You check the phone. You reread the last message, searching for a hidden meaning that was never there. You wonder what you did wrong, when the real question you should be asking is why their opinion still holds so much power over your peace. Most people respond to this moment the wrong way. They chase. They over-explain. They shrink themselves, hoping that smaller will finally be enough. And the tragedy is that this chasing is exactly what erases the version of them that was valuable in the first place. What you are about to hear is not a strategy to manipulate someone into missing you. It is something far more useful and far more permanent. Because the truth is, the people who eventually regret losing someone are never chasing them. They are the ones who became so complete, so disciplined, so quietly powerful, that their absence created a silence louder than any argument ever could. By the end of this, you will understand why the version of you they didn't value was never the real one, and the version they will remember is the one you haven't built yet. Attitude 1. Stop explaining your worth. The first shift is silence where you used to defend yourself. When someone undervalues you, the instinct is to prove them wrong with words, to list every reason you deserved better treatment. But explanation is a form of begging disguised as dignity. Epictetus taught that we suffer not from events, but from the judgments we attach to them. Their opinion of you is their judgment, not a fact about your worth. You do not owe anyone a defense of your value. The moment you stop explaining, you stop auditioning, and a person who stops auditioning becomes someone impossible to ignore. What happens when your silence starts saying more than your words ever did? Attitude 2. Remove the audience from your pain. The second attitude concerns where you process what hurts. Most people grieve a loss of respect publicly, through subtle posts, mutual friends, or performances designed to be noticed. Seneca warned against living for the opinions of others because a life performed for an audience is never truly your own. Processing pain privately is not weakness. It is where real strength is forged unseen. When you stop performing your hurt, you take back something they never expected you to reclaim: your privacy. Nobody can manipulate a reaction you refuse to display, but privacy alone is not enough. The next attitude determines whether that silence becomes strength or bitterness. Attitude 3. Separate the person from the lesson. Here is where many people get stuck. They either idolize the person who hurt them or demonize them completely. And both reactions keep that person occupying space in your mind. The Stoics practiced viewing events with rational clarity, stripped of exaggeration. This person is neither a villain nor a soulmate. They are simply someone who revealed through their actions what they were capable of. Once you separate the person from the meaning you assigned them, their power over your emotions starts to dissolve. What remains is not anger, but information. And information, used correctly, changes how you build everything that comes next. Attitude 4. Rebuild your standards before your confidence. Most people try to rebuild confidence first, hoping it will naturally restore their standards. It rarely works that way. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about aligning daily conduct with clear principles, because without principles, confidence becomes reactive and fragile. Define specifically what treatment you will no longer accept, not as anger but as a boundary rooted in self-respect. When your standards are clear, your confidence follows automatically, because you are no longer questioning whether you deserved better. You already decided. This is where most people quietly reverse the entire dynamic, without saying a single confrontational word. Have you ever noticed how standards, not arguments, change how people treat you? Attitude 5. Let your routine become your identity. Pain often disrupts routine first. Sleep breaks down. Discipline slips. The gym, the work, the small daily commitments start feeling meaningless. Stoicism places enormous value on consistent action regardless of emotional state, because character is built in repetition, not in feeling. Rebuilding your routine is not distraction. It is reconstruction. Every disciplined morning becomes a quiet statement. My life continues with or without their approval. This is not about impressing them. It is about proving something to yourself first. And self-proof is far more permanent than any reaction you could ever provoke in someone else. Attitude. Stop measuring time by their silence. There is a dangerous habit of counting days since the last message, tracking online activity, calculating meaning from patterns that were never guaranteed to mean anything. The dichotomy of control teaches that their behavior belongs entirely to them. Your peace cannot depend on variables you cannot influence. Counting silence is choosing to remain a passenger in someone else's decisions. When you stop measuring time by their actions, you start measuring it by your own progress instead. That single shift changes the entire emotional architecture of how you experience each day. But removing their influence over your clock reveals a deeper question underneath it all. Attitude 7. Accept what already happened. Much of the pain people carry isn't from the event itself, but from resisting that it happened at all. Replaying conversations, imagining different outcomes, wishing for a version of reality that doesn't exist. Amor fati, the Stoic embrace of fate, asks you to accept events not with resignation, but with willingness to work with what is actually true. Resistance to reality only prolongs suffering. Acceptance frees the energy you were spending on denial. Accepting what happened is not the same as accepting mistreatment. It simply means you stop fighting a battle against the past that you were never going to win. Attitude 8. Replace revenge with indifference. There is a strong temptation to imagine them regretting it, to picture the moment they realize what they lost. This fantasy feels satisfying, but it keeps you emotionally tethered to their reaction. True Stoic strength isn't found in wanting someone to suffer. It's found in genuine indifference to whether they ever do. Seneca noted that anger directed outward often causes more damage to the one holding it than to its target. The goal was never their regret. The goal is becoming someone whose life no longer requires their reaction to feel complete. This distinction changes everything that follows, including how obsession quietly reverses itself. Attitude 9. Treat your energy as sacred. Every thought spent analyzing their behavior is energy withdrawn from your own life. Most people don't realize how much daily focus disappears into speculation about someone else's intentions. Discipline, in the Stoic sense, includes discipline of attention, where you direct focus determines what grows. Redirecting that energy toward skill, purpose, or physical discipline compounds daily, while obsession compounds nothing but exhaustion. Protecting your attention is not selfish. It is the foundation of every transformation that follows. Once your energy stops leaking toward them, you may notice something unexpected begin to happen in their direction. Attitude 10. Let your absence speak without strategy. Many people try to manufacture distance as a tactic, hoping it manipulates someone into missing them. This rarely works because manufactured absence still centers them. Real absence isn't a strategy. It's the natural result of a life fully occupied by its own purpose. Marcus Aurelius emphasized doing what is yours to do, without performing it for anyone's benefit. When your absence is genuine rather than staged, it carries a different weight. People sense authenticity even in silence. This is the version of distance that actually changes how someone remembers you, though not for the reason most people expect. Attitude 11. Redefine what victory means. At this point, a dangerous question resurfaces. Does any of this actually make them regret it? That question is exactly the trap. Stoic victory was never about external outcomes because external outcomes are never fully within your control. Victory is defined by whether your actions matched your principles, regardless of how anyone responds. If you build discipline, self-respect, and purpose only hoping for their reaction, you've built nothing real. If you build it because it makes you stronger, you've built something no one can take away. This redefinition is the quiet hinge the entire video has been building toward. Attitude 12. Become unrecognizable through consistency. The final attitude isn't dramatic. It's repetition. Waking early when no one is watching. Following through on commitments you make only to yourself. Choosing discipline on ordinary days, not just difficult ones. Character, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't proven in single moments. It's revealed through what you consistently choose when no one is measuring you. Over months, this consistency reshapes not just your habits, but your entire presence. The person who once overlooked you eventually meets someone they don't fully recognize. Not because you changed for them, but because you finally became who you were capable of being all along. You thought the goal was their regret, but the real goal was never about them at all. Somewhere in this process, without realizing it, you stopped asking, how do I make them see my value? And started asking, how do I build a life I actually respect? That shift is the entire transformation hidden inside this video. Their regret, if it ever comes, is not something you can control, predict, or rely on, But your discipline, your standards, your self-command, these belong to you completely regardless of what they ever feel. The person who didn't value you was reacting to a version of you that hadn't finished becoming itself. What you've been building through every attitude here isn't revenge. It's identity. An identity built through discipline doesn't need anyone's regret to feel complete. It stands on its own, whether they ever notice or not. This was never about winning them back. It was about no longer needing to. So today, choose one attitude from this list and apply it. Not for them, but for the version of you still waiting to be built. Self-respect isn't loud, it's consistent. And consistency over time becomes impossible to overlook. If this described exactly where you are right now, write "I choose myself" in the comments and let that be the first decision of many. If you want more on discipline, emotional control, and building a mind that doesn't bend under pressure, subscribe to Anonymous Achiever. This channel exists to help you become quietly unshakable. Because in the end, the strongest version of you was never built to be noticed. It was built to be undeniable.